Morning. My name is Mikey. I actually lived around the corner from Harman and Lodi. It was his childhood dream to serve and protect his community, and by all accounts, he did just that. We've heard some of the accolades, Officer of the Year, on the board of his Police Officers Association, and so many other distinctions. Just this past weekend, we recognized 20 years, the 20-year anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and remembered everybody who lost their lives on that day. A lot of the public safety, police officers, firefighters who ran towards those burning buildings to try and save other lives. A lesser known tragedy of that day is the experience of sick Americans after 9/11 and the hate crimes that we experienced, the misconceptions about the turban and what it represented. And I think Harman knew his position, his place as not only a representative of the city of Galt, of the police department, but also of his Sikh faith, and the fact that there were interactions he was having in the community, responding to calls for service where he may have been the only Sikh that these folks have ever interacted with. And he represented our community to the fullest, with honor, with respect, with distinction that I think is, it's hard to see. He's survived by his father, Gurdeep Grewal, his mother, Jaswinder Grewal, his brother, Jasdeep Grewal, his sister-in-law, Kirandeep Grewal, his partner, Nikki, and his friends, family, and colleagues from throughout.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Hello everyone. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Navdeep Kaur, sister of Harman. Harman and I was raised together in joint family home in India. The Garewal family consisted of 4 children. The boys Jasdeep, Harman, Rajdeep, and myself as the only girl and sister. Harman and I were only 3 months apart. He was the younger of us two. We spent all our childhood together. Harman, as a child, was quiet and innocent little boy, and I, on the other hand, was kind of cunning girl. We could fight and protect one another like a brother and sister. I still have the marks from our wrestling battles. I didn't ever complain or tell on him. It was just part of our bond. Harman has always been a special person. He is constantly surprising us, all with his accomplishments. When he first started walking as a baby, he didn't just take one step. He took many steps and started running. Even though I was accepted to walk first, being the older one, but I was the one following his lead by learning from him. As a child, Harman did not like to go to school. He would cry and complain all the time. Even crying, carry his backpack on the walk home was a struggle for him. He always asked me to help him carry his backpack. Even though it was difficult for me to carry 2 backpacks, I couldn't tell him no. I can still see his innocent face with red cheeks from hot weather, looking at me asking for help. Although not the proudest moment, but some of the most memorable were time where I helped him to get out from the class. Because of how much he hated being there, I would tell him we can go out from the class by asking to go to restroom. I would throw our backpacks outside the classroom through a space in the wall of our classroom. When we would ask to go to restroom and go home early, when When we had get home, Mom would ask her, why we go home so early? And Harman would tell Mom, our class ended because the teacher needed to go home. And Mom probably knew we were up to something, and she would start smiling. After a while, Dad changed Harman's school. He started going to Christian school, and I was sent to Jasdeep school. As a child, my parents did not allow to me watch a TV, but Harman was able to watch. Harman would always make a deal with me to if I bring four spices ready for him, he gave me a remote for 1 hour. We had a good time as a kid. Harman had a path to becoming a police officer starting at a young age. I remember when he was getting ready for participate in a uniform competition in India. He wanted to dress like a police officer. Dad took him all the way to Ludhiana to get him a gun just like the one he's seen the police officer holding. It was then that Harman set his goal to becoming a police officer. Around his age, like 7 to 8 years, when he decided to become a police officer. Despite his residence with the school, he graduated as a straight-A student. Parents had a plan for him to become an engineer like his father and brother Jasdeep, and all pushed him to complete a non-medical background. Even though it wasn't what he wanted, he completed the course for fulfill his parents' dream. Fortunately, our family moved to the United States in 2012. When he came here, Harman was able to secure his true passion. As soon as we came here, Harman put all his focus on his true goal. He worked really hard in his study and work and had a full support from his family. Shortly after coming here, I got married and I left the family home. I still remember his hug and words in true Harman fashion, always joking. He told me he was so happy for me for start of my new life. He was also happy for himself because I'm no longer his problem. Harman has always had a big heart. In 2016, when our little brother Rajdeep got into accident and had lost his leg, Harman cried and struggled with understanding why God did this to his little brother. Why between two of them, Rajdeep, why not him? Since then, I was blessed with 2 daughters, Raven and Karen. They both are the heart of my 3 brothers. During my pregnancy with Karen, I stayed in Lodi home for 4 months. She looked just like Harman. He would love to hear people say she looks like him. Karen's face and nature is just like Harman. Everyone called her little honey at home. He was so proud of Karen establishing him. He would text me pictures showing me how she looked like him. He would think a lot of Raven and Karen's future. I didn't know before, but I learned that Raven and Karen were on his mind so much that he had started working on raising a fund for their future and would be the topic of discussion among with his friends. Harman went above and beyond for his loved one and had the same character for his work. In his first year as an officer in Galt, he awarded Officer of the Year. Same year, he was awarded for catching the most DUIs, preventing so many lives from being taken or destroyed. Harman was the only brother who texted me in the morning every year. It made me so happy to see his message first thing in the morning. Harman, I am so proud of you for all that you have done for our family and Sikhism. You were our brave protector and hero. No one can ever take your place in our heart and life. And you will always live on our hearts forever. May Waheguru bless you wherever you are. Love you, brother, so much.
Good morning. So I was lucky enough to have Honey as my cousin. I remember when his family came here from India and meeting him for the first time. You could just tell that he had a pure soul. He was really soft-spoken and always had a smile. His laugh could light up the room. I know those of you who know him, and you know his laugh. It's one of a kind, very high pitch. Some facts that I learned about him after learning of his passing, I'm going to share with you, and some experiences I had as well. So he was born February 17th in 94 in a town called Merlkotla. We lost a great human being on the 26th of August. I learned as a young boy, Honey loved to play with pistols and knives as if he was a soldier, reenacting scenes that he had seen in movies. He also loved to watch wrestling films and football games. He was a quiet and sneaky kid, his mother told me. Often, his mother would hide his wrestling cards from him so that he wouldn't take them to school and get in trouble for playing with them. But wherever his mother would hide them, somehow he found them. You could tell that Honey was a quiet yet very patient boy as a young boy. He was also known for teaching himself. He never had to get help from his parents in school. Any of his schooling or homework he always was self-taught. I was surprised to learn that he attended a Christian school till the 10th grade before coming to the States. I guess this was giving him an advantage in learning Western culture and the English language when he was to come here. He also had a competitive nature in him, where I learned he attended multiple talent contests as a kid, and like his sister said, he liked to dress up as a soldier and reenact scenes as if he was a soldier. Interestingly, when Honey came here, his first job ever was working for me. He was a sandwich artist at Subway. He was my best employee ever. He had so many jokes. I mean, all of you probably know the jokes he would come up with. And I also could tell he had OCD because he was always clean and organized. To learn, he was mostly a vegetarian when I tried to take him out to dinner and give him a steak or, give him, I told him he needed to eat more protein because he needed to put some muscles on. At the time I owned a Subway, I also had a CrossFit gym where I tried to get him involved in training, but he didn't take to it too well or wasn't too interested at the time. I think it was just the hard work. Sandwiches were easier for him. He was a selfless individual. Going back to what his sister said, when his cousin got in the motorcycle accident and lost his leg, he was so worked up over it that he had wished that it had happened to him. And the reason he wished it had happened to him is because his family had multiple sons. And Raja's family, which is the boy that lost his leg, he was the only son. And then he had his sister. So he thought, why couldn't it happen to our family? Because we have more boys and they could take care of the family more because of what happened to his cousin. So he was really selfless in that way. I had the pleasure or the honor to cut his hair. I don't know if many of you know, in the Indian culture and religion, you don't cut your hair at all during your life. It's a sense of pride and a sense of commitment to your culture and religion. But when he came to the States, he wanted a haircut, and he told me, hey, would you cut my hair for me? And it was an honor to me to do that. I mean, he had hair past his waist when he first came. I'm going to really miss you, honey. And that's another thing, when we're in public and I called him honey, people got a different idea of our relationship. I had to explain things. But yeah, I'm going to miss you, honey. It was a pleasure knowing you. You'll always be here with us in our hearts. Your spirit lives on forever. We love you very much. God bless you. Thank you.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਚੇਹਾ ਚੀਰਾ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਤੇਹਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਕਮਾਏ, ਘੱਲੇ ਆਏ ਨਾਨਕਾ ਸੱਦੇ ਉਠਜਾ। Coming from the Sikh faith, this is a scripture from the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It translates to, as his decree is issued, so his command obeyed. Those who are sent come, O Nanak, and when they are called back, they depart. Officer Garewal has been called back. Good morning. Thank you to the Garewal family for giving me the honor to speak about Officer Garewal. There are no enough words to honor life service Officer Garewal, and there is no words capable of providing adequate comfort to his family, his colleagues during this difficult time. But we must come together and remember what he stood for and his principle he embodied. He was essence of both what the Sikh faith stands for and what the police officer is, which is seva, known as selfless service to the community. From a young age, Harminder knew he always wants to be a police officer. When he and his family were still living in India, Harminder would dress up and play pretend cop all the time. Harminder's parent, Gurdeep Singh, Jaswinder Kaur Garewal, came to United States with the family in 2012 so that their children could live a better life and have greater opportunities. As Harminder adjusted to his new life in America, he never lost sight of his childhood ambitions and went on to pursue his dream of being a police officer. I can recall so clearly that evening Officer Garewal was sworn in at our city council. His family was in the attendance and they were so proud of him. I too was very proud of the young man chose our town of Galt to serve, making him the first Sikh police officer in our town. Harminder was a kind-hearted, courageous, honorable young man. His contagious smile lit up any room he entered. We will miss seeing that bright smile around town. He was a man who dedicated his life to serving and protecting his community. His loss is left for so many because of the person he was. As many of you already know, Officer Garewal accomplished many achievements at a young age, so early in his career. He was honored with a life-saving award, most DUI arrests, and was named the 2020 Officer of the Year. He took great pride in serving our community and was always ready to help wherever needed. It takes a special kind of commitment and courage to serve in this profession. So we must always be grateful for those who set up to protect and serve, putting their life on the line to keep our community and families safe. We will never forget Officer Garewal, his selfless service, his sacrifice, and his family's sacrifice. To the Garewal family, Gurdeep Singh, Jaswinder Kaur Garewal, you raised an incredible son that was dearly loved in our community. Your son, your brother, he was a true hero, and we forever indebted to him. Harminder, thank you for your service and commitment. Your example of passion, bravery, and devotion will never be forgotten. May you rest in peace. God bless you. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Jasper Wan. First of all, I want to thank all of you for showing all the love and support for Harman's family and friends and the Galt Police Department. I've known Harman for the past 4 years. We had become the best of friends. We went to the same police academy together, where I learned of his personality and humor. In the academy, during lunches, he always had cravings for real authentic Chinese food. You guys probably never heard of this place called Panda Express. He loved his chow mein with double scoops of orange chicken and approximately 5 packets of sriracha. I knew Harman as Grewal, so saying his first name was always hard to get used to, and I knew he felt the same way with me. When we graduated academy, we graduated academy, but we still kept in contact by going on gym dates and shooting at the shooting range. After a few months of begging him to come to the Galt Police Department, he eventually gave in, decided to come with me to Galt. While in field training, which is FTO, all his FTOs asked why he was always quiet. I told him just give him time. He'll open up. Because once Harman gets comfortable with talking, it's like opening Pandora's box. It was a privilege and an honor to work patrol with my best friend. We went to multiple calls for service together, including drive-bys, carjackings, DUIs, and domestic violence calls. But he took a crash on a day off, overtime shift, responding to help a different county and community in their time of need to have his life end. Even on his last days on earth, he was still a hero, and he will be forever. The 5 minutes I have up here is not enough time to say and express how thankful I am to have had him in my life as a friend and a beat partner. was also a comforting feeling to have served honor guard with Harman. On February 3rd, 2021, we were in the same church for Deputy Adam Gibson's funeral. That day, he chose to drive the patrol car during the procession from the church to the memorial site. I was riding passenger, recording the community, waving American flags around and showing their support. Afterwards, we had pizza together. On May 19th, 2021, we were at Officer Jimmy Inn's funeral in Stockton. During that procession, I drove the patrol car, and he was riding passenger, recording the community, waving American flags around and showing their support. We also had pizza afterwards. Unfortunately, today, I will be driving at his procession, and I won't have him next to me. But I know he will be watching over me and guiding me, and I will have a pizza in his honor. Thank you for everything, Harman. I'll never forget the conversations we had together, all the advice you had given me. Thank you for serving your family, your friends, your community, and your country. You showed me life is short and to embrace the moments you have with your loved ones. So with that said, I want to end with this thing called, this is a letter to the greatest officer we knew. Hey buddy, it's been a minute since we last talked. We all miss you every day. We're all doing good down here. We make sure the memories of you never fade. We miss your trash talking, goofy sense of humor, all the funny stories you had and you made. The chapters in the pages of your life had finally closed. How we wish this was all fake. This doesn't feel like it's fair. We always thought you'd always be there. How we sit and wonder every single day if we'll ever wake up from this nightmare. We'd be lying to you if we said, nah, we're okay and that we're not in pain. But come on, bro, you're the reason we can never listen to Metallica the same. The reality of moving on hurts deeply. We all wish you could have stayed. We're all gonna grow old, years will pass, but the image of you will always stay the same. You will be forever young, no gray hairs or backaches, no worries of house mortgages, no more pain, stress, sadness, no more PG&E power outages, no more drama, trauma, anger, danger, no more politics, but no more happiness, no more pizza, no more In-N-Out, no more life, no more all of it. Sorry, it's a little sticky. Your life was cut short and you showed us everything can end in just one flash. But God has an angel now who has a love for spicy food and a badass mustache. You wore your badge and uniform with pride and honor. It sucks that we'll never find out if you'd have a son or a daughter. You taught us many lessons. That's why you're the greatest officer we knew. Honor, strength, and integrity is really how we would define you. This job was your calling, but the ultimate sacrifice was how you paid your dues. Some of the things we regret the most was we didn't say how much we loved you. We've lost plenty of sleep mourning for your loss as we lay on our pillow. To the greatest officer we knew, you were a true American hero. Thank you for your service, Officer Harminder Grewal. You can rest easy now. Your watch has come to an end. We'll hold down a line down here. We love you and we miss you until we meet again.